Hello, everyone. Welcome to Desis&Dragons. It's me, your regular dungeon master, Chirag. Oh no, it's not. It's me, Shiva. I snuck into Desis&Dragons when they were not looking, and I get to be the DM now. Shivam, you might want to upgrade that security.
Yeah, I need to hire a better IT guy. Really, that's the what I need to do.
We have too many
No,
changelings
no,
and
what I
mimics on
realized,
the server.
I have a full scale color print of Chirag, and I don't know what to do with it.
What do you mean full scale?
Maybe
How big are we talking?
I mean just an A4 size, but still.
Okay, I mean,
Why?
serve it as inspiration. Put it up on your mood board.
Frame it. You know?
I could put it up as auction on the chat.
No one wants that.
Yeah, that will end badly. We might have to pay people money at that point.
Thanks, guys.
But hello and welcome to Desis&Dragons, people. We're here to start off a mini campaign, Faith and Fury, set in the continent of Wildemount. And joining me today is an excellent cast. You already know them from the Broken 12 campaign.
That's about it. That's about it.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like many more accolades, but it'll come to me. We can add it in post.
It's fine.
Um,
I now I know what you think our greatest collective achievement is. An
Hey, Broken
abandoned
12 is
campaign that
not
we never
something to
finished,
be.
which was a great.
It's on a break.
It's
We'll
a
be back soon at Broken
We
12.
are on a break. Totally.
one
Sure,
day,
sure.
one day. May do with Alice return, but today.
But today, we are starting a campaign in Wildemount. And joining me are some excellent players. If you want to take a moment to introduce yourselves, Chirag.
Hi, I'm Chirag. You may know me from the Broken 12 and nothing else. The co-founder of Desis&Dragons, and I know next to nothing about Critical Role, so this will be fun. It's fine. It's a safe setting. Nothing bad happens there, right? Nothing traumatics happened in the last couple of weeks in Critical Role that I need to know about. No? Okay, good.
Nah, just boring, regular old episodes.
Yeah.
Shubham?
That's good.
Yeah, sure. I'll go. Hi, my name is Shubham. You might actually, also only know me from Broken 12 because that's the highest I've ever sold. And maybe masks if you like watch some PBTA because you should totally check out PBTA. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this because it's setting out like character creation has been fascinating, and I feel like there's a lot to explore in this mini campaign. So I'm excited. I'll throw to Alika. Alika.
Is it me?
Yes, I'm
Oh
throwing it to
man,
you.
it's me.
It's you.
Hello.
It's you.
Yes, it's
It's
me,
been
Alika. Oh, I get you. Hello, it's me. It's Alika. I've been in Broken 12. You may know me for my very, very, very sporadic art, which I post on Twitter and Instagram, like once in 5 months. That's me on Cape Fox Alex. Follow me there. Or don't because I get anxiety. That's it.
You're so good at this.
And
Every
last but
episode,
not
but you're
least,
so
we
good
have
at this.
Indrani.
Hello, everybody. My name is Indrani. Today, I will be playing Indrani with bad audio. Please stick around regardless. You also, I guess, know me from the Broken 12, co-founding Desis&Dragons, and making handmade dice over at Nonagon Dice. I'm very excited to play in this campaign because, like Shubham just mentioned, there's a lot of like interesting stuff that's happened during character creation that and Siva has that devilish grin on his face, so I know he's up to some shenanigans of his own.
I'm not
And
sure. I'm Chirag.
I love the bit, by the way. It's so well planned, so well executed. No notes. It was perfect. But yes, that's me. Excited to play. Um, I am gonna throw it back to you, Siva, for drawing us into
Thank
the
you.
game.
And
Unless
that
there are wait, do we have announcements? We always
Yep.
have announcements.
Yes,
Yes.
Indrani.
We have an announcement that someone has won a Radiant Citadel book, a physical copy of Radiant. We
Will
have
I be
3
announcing it
people
in chat?
yeah. We'll announce the name of the person in chat in 5, 4, 3, 2, One. Congratulations, person.
Yay!
This is totally live.
Super
The reason
live.
I'm shaking my head is because I'll be streaming this, which means I now need to look at Indrani miming 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then time whatever the hell this is. So thank you for the extra work. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Shubham. Congratulations, whoever won. Please send us your shipping details. Actually, you know what? I will reach out to you to get your details, and I will send you a physical copy of Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel. Shout out to Wizards of the Coast for giving us free books to give out.
Yeah.
That's our only announcement. For more giveaways and fun stuff, join our Discord community at Desis&Dragons.com/Discord. That's simple, yo. That will also be in chat in 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm still offended that your slash was a dab. That's what I'm offended about.
Was it actually?
It was. It looked like a
Oh
dab.
no! Oh no!
So we're both angry. Me and Shubham are both angry for different reasons.
We'll fix it in post, right, Shubham?
I'm doing the post.
Oh!
It's staying in.
I think Indrani bad audio should now just remain Indrani silent. It might be a good look to go with.
Well, those are my announcements. Now I will throw it back to Siva to take us away into the lands of wild.
Thank you. For those who don't know me, if you're on Discord, you would know me as the person who runs Mass and only Mass. And I guess now running the Wildemount mini campaign in Desis&Dragons. Can't wait to get started. And with all that fun and merriment, let's dive into the year 544 PD, post divergence. In Western Vanandir, Emperor Manfred Dwendal has been coronated as the emperor of the nation of Dwendalian Empire that occupies the northern half of Western Vanandir and rules from the capital city of Rexentrum. Within this sprawling metropolis, a town crier runs through the bustling a grave ultimatum from the emperor. The crier pushes past the crowd within the Tangles district, makes their way towards the central plaza. The large crowd gathers, eager to hear the latest message from their emperor. They wait for the bustle to quiet down into a lull and proclaims, "Hear ye, citizens of the Dwendalian Empire. The 5-year anniversary of the reign of our great Emperor Manfred Dwendal, all citizens of the Empire are invited to the grand anniversary celebrations in the Shimmer Ward in 30 days' time. Under the reign of our benevolent Emperor Manfred Dwendal, the blind faith in the gods has been diminished, and today we enter an age of enlightenment. Science and arcana will pave the way for the Zemni people, and our illustrious Emperor Manfred Dwendal shall lead us there. The path is not bereft of pitfalls, however. There are many who would try to bring our glorious empire down. Our most august emperor has recently thwarted the high cleric of the Julous Dominion in his attempts to instigate riots in our lands. That victorious day is now proclaimed as the admonishment, and as a result for the damage done to the empire, all exports of food to the Julous Dominion from the empire shall be outlawed under punishment of death. Let this be a lesson to all our enemies, foreign and domestic. Our emperor shall stand firm against spineless religious practices, and only the rule of law shall be honored. Long live Emperor Manfred Dwendal, long live the Zemnian Empire." The crowd is rapturously applauding, and the people of the Zemnian Empire prepare for festivities. And as this happens, we travel south to the Julous Dominion. Sanctions on import have created a famine, starving the population of the independent country and pushing them to desperation. Our story begins in this suffering land, one night before the anniversary, far away from the celebrations of the empire, in the capital city of Zadash, ruled by Baron Enoch Julous and his wife, Baroness Cassandra Julous. The once bustling and lively streets of the city have gone quiet and dark in the early hours of dusk. Shops and other establishments have boarded up their doors and windows. Hungry and sick people line the corners of the streets and alleyways, too tired and starving to even beg for scraps. For those who have the strength, the hunger has turned to ire, their trust broken in their own rulers, sworn to protect and serve them. People are looking for a solution, or perhaps a revolution. At this point, I would like everyone to defend themselves except Chirag.
The golden heart.
No.
Outside a boarded up bar with a worn sign of a mushroom hanging above the door, we see waiting. Chirag, if you want to introduce your character.
Ishkar is a man who's about almost 30. He has a long, nicely trimmed black beard, styled hair, and on his forehead, similar to a dhoti, he has the three-eyed symbol of one of the gods of this region. As he's wearing a black and white, what's the term? Kurta pajama. As he's just got that over, nice collared shirt. Wouldn't be not too out of place here. Only thing that might draw attention is at his side is sheeted is what looks to be a rapier. As he's walking in there, keeping his watching the demure mood. He's trying to keep quiet as he's looking up at this location, confident this is where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, you see, you're waiting outside the Toadstool Tavern, and you notice that the tavern itself is boarded and shut, and you notice similar signs hanging across most of these establishments. The sign just reads, no food or mead. No lights are lit as the sunset brings darkness to the streets. You see a human woman in dark cloak approaches you and beckons you closer.
She inside the tavern or outside the tavern?
Outside, on the alleyway.
He nods and just
as
heads
you
down the
approach,
alley.
you would recognize this to be your handler. You would know your handler's name is Missy, but codename Reichstag. Missy draws you into a conversation. The others are waiting. Remember your mission. Capture or kill the High Cleric, no matter the cost.
Yeah. Well, I'm on. Where are they waiting?
As you nod, she heads to the door of the Toadstool Tavern and knocks the door. And as she knocks, a small panel opens, and two eyes glare out, give you both the once over, and the panel closes back, and the door opens. You see a hooded figure lets you in, closes the door quickly behind you, and escorts you down the stairs towards the basement, where three figures are waiting. Missy quickly greets all these three figures and turns to you. Ishkar, meet the resistance. We have Trent, the head priest of the Temple of Matron of Raven. You see this hooded figure with amulet of the Raven Queen give you a slight bow and extend his hand to meet yours. Missy then proceeds to the next person, who is Thurwin, the head priest of the Temple of Pelor. And you see this dwarf, old dwarf man with long white hair, just give you a nod of respect. And lastly, you move to Naz Odakar, an orc, very well built female orc with uniform of the Julous Dominion. If you have spent time in the Julous Dominion, you would know that this is the chief military strategist to Baron Julous and Baroness Julous. And Missy turns to all of them and says, Ishkar and I are from the Empire. I'm here to assist in any way we can.
He nods and lets Missy take the lead on this. waiting for the
Mhm.
for these guys to speak.
Okay. Yeah. So the head priest of the Raven, the Temple of Ravens, Trent walks up to you. Ishkar, I see you've been around the Baron and Baroness in the last couple of months.
Right. As best I can.
You think you think you have embedded yourself enough with them?
Enough.
Well, the cleric and what the hell up to, right?
As if my information is sound, I know as much as anyone here. Perhaps more.
The High Cleric is. Well, the High Cleric has been missing for a month, claiming to be waging a holy war against the Empire, unwilling to share secrets, willing to reveal their plans. And we feel that he's going a little unstable at the moment. Baron doesn't want to hear otherwise. Would you happen to have heard where the High Cleric is right now?
Not yet.
Figured. None of us have that information. I'm pretty sure the Baron knows.
Say that again?
I'm pretty sure the Baron knows.
Well,
That
if
old fool.
he knows, I'll find out.
But tomorrow might be a great opportunity. At this point, Missy kind of speaks up and says, well, tomorrow is in fact the grand anniversary celebrations, and I know the Baron is holding a watch party to view the speech of the Emperor. Do you have an inn, Ishkar? Are you invited?
I'm close to someone who probably will be. Good friend, goodish friend of mine. We'll see if I can get in with him.
Missy kind of talks to you, whispers to all present in the room, saying, well, I have it on good authority that the Emperor is willing to compromise. If the Baron goes for it, well and good. And Naz, the chief military strategist, the Orc, she kind of just steps up and stomps her feet and says, Baron will not go for it. Baron will not compromise. And Trent will turn to Naz and say, well then, if the Baron won't do it, you know what we have to do.
Find someone else who will compromise. I think you can arrange that, Miss Naz.
Yeah, Naz just nods and aye. And Thurwin, the head priest of Pelor, also nods in agreement and says, if we can run the Baron out of town, Naz here can take over. Naz will compromise with the Empire. We don't want a bloody war on our hands.
Oh. And if we can get him to lead, that would be ideal. But the end goal is putting someone more willing to compromise on top.
Trent's kind of shushes everybody and says, big picture. The High Cleric is still a threat. He plans to bring down the Empire and all of civilization with it. That madman and his schemes, I don't know what he's up to. He's been unstable ever since 6 months or so. It's not enough that we run the Baron out of town. We need to find the High Cleric and capture him.
Of course.
This goes on for, unless you have any questions.
No, he's just
gathering,
seeing if they have different opinions from what I've gathered about why the head priest might have changed his opinion 6 months ago. If there was anything that they think might have triggered it that is different from my intelligence.
You can roll an investigation check.
Hey.
Actually, roll a charisma investigation check. So just roll a charisma modifier and add your into it.
You monster. Alright, so that that becomes an 11.
11. Trent's the head priest of the Temple of Ravens, says, "Gosh darn it, if I know." It's just been so secretive that it just brings me to fury every time I think of his name. And Naz kind of like puts a shoulder on Trent. Okay. One step at a time. First we take Zadash, compromise with the Empire, get control of our lands, then we can hunt down the Head Cleric. And Missy kind of like nods and says, "Well, I'll take back word to the Empire that you're ready if things go south." And turns to you, Ishkar, and says, "Well, you're in charge now."
Thank you for your trust, Commander. Bows to the others as well, respectfully.
Everyone disperses, and you walk back through the desolate streets of Zadash, back to whatever quarters you have, and a new day dawns. Here, I would like to ask you to define yourself, and I'll get Indrani on. Hello.
So I am here, and I don't know anything of what just happened. Oh boy.
That's perfect. Okay. It is the day of the grand anniversary celebrations in Rexentrum, but over at Zadash, the Penta Market, the streets are covered in debris and garbage. The vibrant market stalls have all been looted or destroyed. A few people are rooting through the garbage in hopes of finding something to eat. Amongst them, a hooded figure walks past. They scatter. Indrani, if you would like to describe your character.
Yes. You see this, weak, sort of brown-skinned woman with these half-moon glasses, freckles on her face, and like almost rosacea on her cheeks, just walking by, eyes just darting around. Not speaking much, but occasionally nodding to people as if she has a history with them, as if she knows of them. She has these earrings that she's wearing, and they both are like silver with like a loop on it and blue gemstones in each earring. She has this headband on her head, which is plain. It just looks like a art silver band that goes across her head. Her hair is short, tied back into a ponytail, brown curls just like messily falling around her face. She has a necklace that she wears with an amulet on it. The amulet doesn't have any noticeable sigil of sort. It looks very plain, almost as if it was worn out over years of use. On top of that, she wears these really long, flowing, almost Sherlock Holmes style coat. This overcoat has this bright cobalt blue sort of lining on it, and the collar which folds over has these leather accents across. She has a staff that is on her back, right? And she's just walking around, like fiddling with her hair, just looking around as if she has plans in motion and needs to make sure that they all go well. Things cannot go wrong, not right now. So she's just constantly nervously playing with her hair, just looking around and trying to observe everything.
As you walk past the market, you hear a familiar whistle from one of the alleyways on the side. You would recognize the whistle as a call from your mentor, expositor Cillian Graylish, or Sai, as you know them. The familiar whistle kind of beckons you into a dark alleyway. Dark for daytime, it's still pretty lit up, but it's empty and bereft of any people at that time.
I'm going to just walk into the alleyway, and I don't have a smile on my face or any sort of point of recognition. My face is very passive the whole time. I'm still playing with my hair. I walk over to Sai and I'm like, "You good? Everything's good?"
Yes, you see Sai is wearing this like long blue, gray trench coat, and just on the inside you can see the cobalt blue lining, but it's not really visible unless you take a closer inspection. But otherwise, they are trying to blend into the crowd as much as possible. They are trying to be as raggedy as possible to the Dash population. You would know that 30 days of no import of food from the Empire has literally like created um, a horrible situation in Zadash. And Sai is trying to like look one of them so that they can through the crowd easily, and even their face also looks a little disheveled. And they look at you and they say, "And not gonna lie, things could have been better."
That is almost
How are you
always
coping
the
up?
answer. Well, I ran into a couple of issues making sure that the deal would go through, but I think we're all set. I don't think we should run into that many issues. I always say that, and she like shakes her hand and like again starts like messing with her hair. And stuff. I always say that, but it never works out. So you know what? From now on, I have decided. If somebody asks me that, I will say I don't know because I don't.
Well, that might be a good lesson in life. But anyways, I bring grim tidings from the Empire.
Right. What's news?
Well, apparently, Emperor Dwendal already has spies here. They're plotting a coup of some kind.
That's good to know.
Something about tonight's grand anniversary celebrations and the watch party that's being planned. There's a good chance that Baron and Baroness Julous might not live to see the end of it. I don't know how reliable this information is, but it's just something that we came across. I thought we should let you know as soon as possible.
Well, how about this? How important is it that they attend the festivities tonight?
You can't get the Baron to not go to the festivities. It's nigh impossible. But the Cobalt Soul would like to offer a deal here. I'm pretty sure we can make it happen if the Baron agrees.
Right. What is that deal?
First, does the Baron know that you work for the Cobalt Soul?
I have managed to keep that a secret. You think the blue would give me away, but it doesn't.
Oh, well. That's good. That's good. Maybe you can take a message to him. Not from the Cobalt Soul, just a message from the Empire. That if he were to give up the High Cleric to face crimes in the Empire, the Emperor is willing to offer a peace deal.
We already know how that's going to play out, don't we, Sai? You know where they stand on this whole situation.
You have to reason with him. You
If
have the
we
Emperor.
don't-
You have the Baron's ear.
Well, yes. In a manner of speaking, I have been able to
Implore.
garner support. Let's just say that.
Implore him to do his duty. See reason in all this. Faith in the High Cleric will lead them to war.
Well, there is that, but there is also the fact that this is just how religion works. They think that the High Cleric's divine, whatever that is true, and they believe it. How do I break someone's belief when they've held for so long?
It's the path of least bloodshed. If the Baron cares for anything, it should be for the well-being of his people.
So they hand
Do your
over the
best.
High Cleric, and we avoid this war. if they don't?
Well, we can. The cobalt soul will put an end to this. I can't make any promises, but we can try. We will.
Right.
She seems unsure, but they are like confident.
Tell me about the
That-
spies. I don't want to have this conversation if there's spies around.
Well, we're working on that, and the minute we get some information, I will make sure to send it your way.
I just like
Don't have
dangle
anything.
my earrings very gently. As a Sai would know that I have earrings of message, which allows me to cast
Yeah,
message, but I
Yeah.
would assume they could use it to just shoot information into my head wherever I need.
Yep. Sai would just nod and return the gesture, and also say, "Trust me. The archivists of the Cobalt Soul are working day and night to try and stop the bloodshed that's about to happen. We don't want war between our nation. Only want peace.
Yeah.
And the path of least bloodshed probably runs through you now.
Well, I shouldn't be seen hanging around you for too long. May the knowing mistress be with you." And I nod my head once
And-
I step away.
And with you. And they pull back their cloak and they slip away from alleyway to alleyway, disappearing into the day. Let's get everyone back now.
Ooh, everybody.
Yeah, let's get everyone back now.
Love it.
Yeah, it is the day of the grand anniversary celebration in Rexentrum. It is the 5-year anniversary of Emperor Manfred Dwendal. But we are not in Rexentrum. We are in Zadash. Zadash, which has been suffering from the import ban, and there's been no food, no resources. All the imports from the Zemni fields have been cut off, and Zadash is facing a emergency situation. Food is being rationed at the temples. The markets are closed. The lively, bustling city of Zadash is now a ghost town. It is still the capital, so the leaders are still there. The administrative duties still functions. The military is preparing for maybe a war that can happen with the North. But amidst all this tension, a royal carriage, plush and comfortable, moves down the paths of central Zadash. The interior is velvet seats, nice, fairly adorned, just starting to show a little wear and tear after months of conflict. And Baron Julous sits inside, a gaunt man with graying temple and haunted eyes. And as his trusted advisor by his side, Shubham, you want to tell us what you look like?
Yes. You see a person with a deep amber-colored mane that starts all the way by his chin and drapes down his kind of hair, creating waves above and falling to the side and going all the way down to his shoulders. He wears a thick red scarf despite the weather, and underneath it all there is a full plate of armor, a lot of full plate armor, but a substantial amount of armor. Clearly, someone who is worried about possible conflict. The only weapon that you can see he carries, this leonine figure, is a glaive that he holds to the side, kind of guardingly.
The Baron turns to you, and an extremely worried look on their face. And well, Gerd, what do you think I should do? I mean, the High Cleric is clearly up to something, not telling me what they're up to. And I don't know. I mean, the High Cleric has always guided us through our most difficult times. Ray, You would know Seren Ray is the family temple, the family deity of the Baron, the Baroness. Ray has always shown us the light in our darkest moments. And if Ray has sent him a message that this is the path we need to follow, then I must stand by him. He did not consult me when he infiltrated into the Empire and incited riots. He does not need to consult me if Ray has ordered it so. I'm conflicted. As he says that, you see, you hear like a thud on the outside of the carriage, and you peer out and you see a few kids angry at the Baron and just throwing rocks at your carriage and just hurling insults as the carriage moves past and goes further into the city of Zadash.
I have sympathy for you. It is not a easy position you find yourself in. Certainly, the balance between that of the will of the gods, the path laid down by them, and the one that we deem correct can be tricky, to say the least. My advice is this. Perhaps Seren Ray, in her wisdom, has guided the High Cleric in the path that he has chosen. So I am not sure if that sounds like Seren Ray, but again, I am no diviner. On the other hand, even if she has, if you are to go down this path, is that the best thing for you to do? Will your soul be at peace, holding on to, forgiving these actions? Because if not, then it does not matter if the gods ask it of you or not. Your soul will feel the pain either way, the burden either way.
Well, I'm nothing without my principles. And I don't see reason why I should give up on the High Cleric. Been a trusted ally since we founded the Julous Dominion. See no reason why scapegoat him.
I do not think you should scapegoat him, and I respect anybody who stands by their principles. But perhaps if we were to hold court, a due process, we might be able to get to the bottom of this. But that is my way of doing things. I would very much like to weigh the scales, as it were.
Well, he kind of chuckles a bit and you sound a little bit like the Empire there, my friend.
Yeah, Gear lets out a deep rumbling sound that kind of seems to reverberate around him. I do not entirely agree with the Empire. There is a saying that I learned growing up. People crushed by laws have no hope but to evade power. If the laws are their enemies, they will be enemies to the law. And those who have most to hope and nothing to lose will always be dangerous. It seems that we have a lot to hope and increasingly nothing left to lose. And I point to the streets outside.
Well, what you say is true. I take it to heart. But also know this. The Emperor is a madman. And his calls for putting the High Cleric on trial, stopping the imports of food and resources. This doesn't sound like a rational, benevolent leader. Sounds more like we're being held to ransom. We don't compromise our principles for ransoms.
No, we do not. I do not think that the Emperor is the final voice on the matter. I would like to hear from the cleric and resolve the matter among us if we could.
Well, that might be a problem. Haven't seen the High Cleric in 6 months, so I often get messages from them on what they're planning. None in the last 1 month, though.
Do I know that they have received messages before?
Actually, no. I'll tell you. You do know the High Cleric has been missing for 6 months. You can roll an insight to see whether the Baron is telling the truth on whether they've been receiving messages or not.
Is that the first roll of the campaign?
No, Chirag beat you to it.
Okay, this roll.
It's the
is
first public roll of the campaign.
Okay, first public roll is a nat 20. So
Hey, good job.
Great way to start.
let's go.
The Baron is not hiding, like he's not lying to you. He is getting messages about the High Cleric, but he is not really confident on how they're coming or like where the High Cleric is. Like he's just putting on a face that the High Cleric is fine and everything is going according to plan, but he seems a little unsure as to what the High Cleric is actually doing, and like even like his underlying belief in the messages of the High Cleric itself seems to be wavering just a bit.
I'll scratch my snout a little with this clawed hand as I kind of think around. Your Highness? Is Highness the correct title? Highness probably makes sense.
Yeah.
Baron.
Lordship.
Your Lordship. Thank you. Perhaps your faith in the High Cleric is justified and there's nothing to worry about, and we must simply carry on with what he is suggesting. But if you will forgive me, if I may be honest with you.
By all means.
You seem troubled. I would much rather that while you continue to follow the work and commands of the High Cleric, that perhaps someone look into the matter and consider the alternative. It might be that there is something wrong. I'm not blaming the High Cleric. I'm simply saying there might be something we do not know yet. And if that is the case, perhaps we should look into it.
Well, I was getting to that, and maybe you can help me in this. Not right now, of course. We have the watch party to attend. But maybe from tomorrow we can reconvene and figure out if we can decipher the High Cleric's messages. Given him enough leeway, but things are only escalating. Don't know how much I can keep the Council of Clerics at bay now.
That seems wise, Your Lordship.
And as you say that, like the carriage comes to a halt, and you see this once ornate, very symmetrical building, the structure, which is the Temple of Serenray, and is like the most lavish and the most ornate building in Zadash, because it is the Baron's family deity. And in their honor, because of their visit today, the entire temple has been decorated. It's a very contrasting image from the sites of Zadash. This one has like long silk banners with the Baron's family emblem. There are it's been like freshly cleaned. The gold, the doors have been like polished, and it's like gleaming gold. And the temple is in such a way that there is a moat around the temple, and then there's a bridge through. So the carriage just stops in front of the bridge, and the Baron and you kind of cross the bridge, and you see from both sides, like there's a perimeter set up so that like the populace of Zadash don't create any ruckus. this visit to the temple has been specially arranged just as a pre evening prayer before the watch party, and the closest advisors to the Baron are all present, which would include, of course, Ishkar and Velara. Although I don't know how close you are to the Baron, but you would definitely be invited for the prayers followed by watch party. And just for the benefit of the rest of the players, if you would just give a quick description of what you look like, Velara.
Yes, you see this woman with sort of tan skin, almost rosacea on her cheeks, with a lot of freckles around her face. She has a half moon glasses that she wears with silver rims, and a very plain looking silver headband that sort of like arches where it meets the center of her head. She has some jewelry that she's wearing, earrings on both ears with like little blue gemstones in each. But the most sort of prominent thing about her is her long, overflowing overcoat, like a trench coat, that has this sort of beautiful cobalt blue shade to it, with like leather um, sleeves and cuffs, and just all the accents are made of this dark brown leather. You see that she's constantly just like fiddling with her hair, looking around, like feeling a little out of place, just always unsure of herself, but pleasant.
Ishka?
That's
Ishka is a young man in his 30s, dark skinned. He's got one earring, dark, dark red and blue, which is very small in his right ear. As he's got his hair tied nicely, he's got a very nice black, blue and white Schwarzkopf set up, looking quite nicely. As he's got cheated at the side is his a rapier. As he's there looking polite, he's got some bangles, and on his forehead, newly, like you can see, he's recently repainted it for the occasion. He has the symbol of Ayun, the mistress of knowing, on his forehead, the three eyes that represent her on his forehead, as he's like bowing to everyone, as he's like coming in, looking looking respectful, but a little solemn, as he can feel, how upset people are, how hungry people are, and he's respect that, even though the watch party, he's still like that kind of solemnness.
The Baron and Gir enter the door, and like immediately, like everyone just quietens down. If the two of you were there in the temple before the Baron arrived, you would hear like a few acolytes just like arguing amongst themselves. How long they have, how many days they have before food and incense runs out. But as soon as the Baron comes, everyone just goes quiet, and a few acolytes approach you, Alika, at the altar. If you want to describe what you look like.
Yes, you would see a fairly tall hobgoblin with dark red skin with like orange patches on the face. Their long black hair is kind of pulled into like a double bun, sort of like from Ray from Star Wars, but only two. And they are wearing a full plate armor, which has like designs of Saran Ray or embossed. They're carrying a large warhammer and a massive iron tower shield. They're not super massive, but like fairly like almost
Yeah.
shield. Yes.
So a few of the acolytes would come to you and say that, Leo, we need like this, unsure how to bring up the topic, but then eventually like one just, Leo, you need to lead the prayer here today. You're the senior most person of the Temple of Ray, and the High Cleric has been missing, and the Baron is here. Could you lead us?
Yes. He wipes the sweat off the back of his neck a little nervously. Yes, I mean, though the high cleric isn't been around, I didn't expect to be the most senior person here, but all right, let's do this. He'll hand over
Okay, so as you
to someone else.
sorry, as they give you the instruments for the prayer, the rest of you take your seats within this temple. There are like pews that have been set up where you can see the Baron obviously takes up his preferred seat in the front. There are like a curved staircase that leads up to this platform. There's raised altar, and on top of the altar you see almost like a cauldron with fire just burning bright inside. And as the acolytes all come out and they start the evening prayers, all the torches inside the temple are shut. They're like uh, turned down, dimmed down, except the main cauldron. And above the cauldron, you see like a statue of Serenre, and that cauldron just burns brighter and brighter, and it just lights up only Serenre. Everything inside the temple is dark. Leo, take it away. Before you do that, sorry, one of the acolytes steps up in front of the cauldron and puts their head down, bows their head just in front of the cauldron, and says loudly, "We start with a prayer to the High Cleric of the Everlight, the most pious flame, burning justice, the cleansing inferno, and the conduit of divine conflagration." And everyone like bows down. The Baron especially like closes their eyes, says a silent prayer, and then that acolyte steps away, and Leo, you're up.
Yeah, I'll lead them through the prayers. I'll be taking what looks to be like a metal plate with several smaller lights on it, and clockwise hold it in front, or clockwise move it in front of the statue, chanting out whatever needs to be said. I didn't prepare like an actual prayer, but you guys get that. Yeah. Yes. As I do this, I watch the flames grow brighter and dim as the wind kind of moves it slightly. I watch the smoke and the incense kind of wash over the statue of Sarandre, and I wave my hand over it, making sure it spreads across the entire area. And then, as the prayer is done, I turn to the back where all the followers are waiting, and with a movement of my hand, wash the fire and smoke in their general direction. It flares up for a little bit, and then I pass it on to one of the other acolytes to go ahead and.
Yeah, the acolyte seamlessly takes the plate with the fire on you, and then just does a circle around the room. There are the other acolytes in the back who are like beating drums and instruments as all this happens, and they take the ceremonial fire and they pass it around to everybody. The Baron steps up first, prays before the fire, and prays for this conflict to be resolved soon, hopefully. The acolyte then takes the fire one by one to all of you. You would also know, like, at least there are like the people in this room are all like clerics, like high clerics of different temples. There is the Trents, who's the cleric of the Temple of Ravens, Turwin, who's the the cleric of the Temple of Pelor. There is there are all kinds of these clerics are there. It's just a small gathering of about 20 people, most close advisors. There's no general public here today. But yeah, after the acolyte goes one by one to the different clerics, you would notice that even though the clerics are from the different religions, they still like follow the same practices while inside Ray's temple. Like they follow Ray's practices, they accept the fire, they take the blessings, and then the acolyte goes out. The main cauldron is dimmed down, and the torches are lit back up, and the Baron like stands up, turns to all of you, takes a deep breath. Well, time to go see what the Mad Emperor wants to say. And you see the acolytes itself, like the altar to Serenre is quickly like converted into a watch party screening room. A giant tarpaulin is pulled down from the ceiling, and you would know that this is a modified glamour weave. So a person's thoughts could be like projected onto it, and the person whose thoughts are being projected onto it is actually like scrying in Rexentrum on the Emperor's speech. And so the person scrying is then projecting it out onto the glamour weave, and in the conclusion of your prayers, you all take your seats, and through these crying orbs, clerics, the acolytes and the clerics of the Temple of Serenray are able to witness the speech in Rexentrum in full, and they display it onto this glamour weave. You all watch as Emperor Manfred Dwendal takes the stage to rapturous applause. He waves a hand to silence the crowd, and he gets ready to speak. And that's where we'll take a break. Hello and welcome back to Desis&Dragons. This is Wildemount, Faith and Fury, episode 1, and we are back from break. When we last left off, our adventurers had just gotten together. They've been invited for the watch party to witness Emperor Manfred Dwendal's great speech to celebrate his 5-year reign over in the Zemnian Empire. As you all gather around in the Temple of Ray, arrangements are being made for this watch party. The mood is grim and dark. There's no hope of some favorable words that the great emperor would say, but you never know. As the crowd settles in, a few clerics who are scrying Rexentrum project the thoughts and images, what they see, onto this modified glamour weave that serves as a screen for all of you. You hear Emperor Manfred Dwendal take the stage to rapturous applause. He waves a hand to silence the crowd. And instantly, a hush falls.
Good evening, citizens of my beloved Zemni. We as a country have progressed tremendously in the past 5 years, owing to my trust in the science and arcana. We stand on the verge of a technological revolution, the likes of which has never before seen in Exandria.
The crowd erupts and applauds every sentence that Emperor Dwendal says. He waves his hand again, and instant silence.
And yet, it saddens me that our neighbors to the south are struck in the mire of religion. They have been deceived by people like the High Cleric with false miracles and claims of divine visions. The High Cleric has declared that the cowardly attack he had orchestrated upon our flourishing lands were done with the holy instructions provided only to him. He refuses to stand trial for his actions nor prove these claims to be true. Instead, he rants from the rightful justice of the Empire. The people of the Julous Dominion are aiding and abetting him in the harm caused to us. As a nation, we cannot stand still and let these atrocities happen in front of our very own eyes.
Crowd is just applauding and cheering at this stage, and then like boos for the Baron Dominion the Baron Julous that you can hear. And once again waves a hand, and the crowd instantly falls silent. You can see that he commands the respect of the people here, and they adore him. He quietens down a bit.
I speak now to the people of the Julous Dominion. I, Emperor Manfred Dwendal of the esteemed Zemni, offer you peace and prosperity. Bring to me the High Cleric to justice, and the lands of the Maru Valley will be brought within the Empire to join us as we soar higher than any have ever done before. Denounce the rule of blind faith and superstition, refuse, and the consequences shall be dire. We are not unreasonable or cruel. Faith is important to the society and well-being of the people. So in an act of generosity, we shall permit the worship of Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon, Viratis, the Lawbearer, Ayun, the Knowing Mistress, Moradin, the Allhammer, Pelor, the Dawnfather, and the Raven Queen, Matron of Death, all over the Zemnian Empire. You have been led astray, dear neighbors. Join us, come within our fold, and we shall allow you to practice your religion as a compromise. Join us and let us help you. To my beloved Zemnians, enjoy the glory of our empire. Welcome our neighbors as they break the shackles of ignorance. Let us all grow together. Long live the Zemni, long live the empire.
And the crowd just goes berserk at that stage. Emperor Manfred Tendril takes a step back. You see that the connection, the scrying orbs instantly fade. You would fathom that there are mages on the other side who have specifically knew that you people from the Dominion was crying and just allowed that portion, and then it got cut off. You have no access to what happens in Rexentrum after that. But the mood within the Temple of Serenray is grim and tense. You see the head priest of the Temple of Ravens, Trens Orman, is the first one to speak up. The Emperor seems to be willing to compromise. Baron, this is our chance. And the Baron kind of responds with, these are false promises, Trens. We've been down this road before. There's nothing to gain here. This carrot is just illusionary. Unless you're not doing anything, this kind of back and forth just keeps happening. You would see Naz Odekar, the chief military strategist, kind of takes the side of Trends, says that this is it's better to give up the High Cleric. The High Cleric will answer to their crimes. We are not responsible for the High Cleric. Why are we sticking behind them? The Baron would hold steadfast and say that we don't give in to blackmail, and the Emperor can go back on his word at any time. There is no there's a heated discussion going on here.
Yeah.
What are you all doing?
I would like to step forward, and I would turn to the priests of Serenray who are present, and I would ask, your High Cleric believes that Serenray has led him down this path. Do you have a way of communing with Serenray yourself? It would bring me much peace to know that more than one person is guided in the same direction.
Give me a persuasion check.
Hold on, just gonna look at the thingy. Persuasion. That's a total 20 total.
Ooh, okay, nice. The acolytes kind of they're a little unsure. None of them are really high level clerics or priests here, but they are competent and they could technically commune. But they do look to Leo for should we do what he's asking? They seem convinced, but they just want a nod of approval.
I first nod to Gage since I do know them. I say, well, I am unfortunately no cleric that I could commune with by themselves. If anyone here has any similar visions or messages that the High Priest did, I'm sure they would have communicated such things. However, feel free to question. I do not see any reason to keep this hidden or obscured in any way.
Okay. The acolytes kind of sit down at the altar just in front of Serenray and start chanting, and a bunch of hymns just flow from their songs, and they look to you, Gir, and they say, You want to join us?
Would Sarenrae listen to someone who is not sworn to her?
Well, never done this before, but we could try.
I am sure she will. Sarenrae accepts all in her heart.
It seems that her words have currently led this dominion down a dangerous path. So perhaps if I can have insight into her will, I will take up that opportunity. I look to the Baron and I make sure that he's
The
okay.
Baron is occupied in a very heated argument with Naz, the chief strategist. You will Naz, this king orc woman, who is like the chief military strategist of the Julous Dominion, and Trent's Orman, the head priest of the Temple of Matrons. The Temple of the Raven Queen. And the three of them are in a very heated discussion right now. So the Baron is not even looking towards you. You are up on the altar with.
All right,
you're invited to sit down,
opportunity.
and they sit down and they like waft a little bit of incense your way, and they start chanting, and they just ask you to repeat after them, and the ritual begins. And they cast commune, but like so how we're doing this is that they cast commune, but you can like they will be the conduit for your questions if you have.
Very well. Okay. They cast commune. That means, and I get to ask the questions. Okay. I think that's 3 questions, right? Or.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, and it's automatically successful, or.
No, they do, like it doesn't have to be. You don't know.
No. This.
Whether the answers are.
Okay. Got it.
The answers can be funky.
Right.
Yeah, the answers can be funky.
Okay. Very well. Does the High Cleric follow your path?
So you say the question and the acolyte repeats, and they sit in silence for a moment, and they open their eyes, take a deep breath, and they turn around to you. The Everlight says, they were on the same path, but it seems cloudy at the moment.
All right.
So,
would you like me to intervene?
Again, the question is repeated. The acolyte repeats it loudly, so it's like open for all to hear. But they receive the answers in their head, and then they again like they come out of the trance, and they like take a deep breath and they look at you. You must choose your own path.
Final question. Do you support King Dwendal?
Okay. The question is repeated loudly, and again a moment of silence and a deep breath, and the acolyte turns to you. No. And like a final and the acolyte just like looks around. Did that work?
I clap them on the shoulder. You did well. Thank you.
Oh, that was some experience.
I
I
wish you knew what it was like.
I turn to Leo. DM question. Where are Belara and Ishkar at this point? I'm just
Yeah, I was just going to get to that.
Yeah,
I was just
yeah.
going to get to that.
I was going to ask because like Villa is it would have been like while they're having the discussion and the ritual for commune takes however long it does. I would have been gone to Villa and said like, sister, could you mind if we take a walk away from all this noise? I wanted to get your input on what's happened.
Oh, away.
Well, we're still in the temple, obviously, just a little bit away from the noise. But
Okay. Yes.
yes,
She glances back over the commune is happening.
we'll still put in earshot. I want to hear what's happening as well. Obviously, I want to be in the room where it happens.
Of course, don't we all? I will nod, and almost like with the sense of respect when I see the eye of Ayun on your body, and I please lead the way.
So yeah, just a little bit like walking and talking a little bit away from like noise and like. So that is something that what the emperor was saying just now. Oh, is it like, oh, I am so dutiful to you. I'm being so merciful, giving you some of your gods while I've kicked you while you're down with no food. So good. What are you thinking about this?
I think something's got to give. Whether it's the Empire or whether it's the Dominion. Time will tell. All I want is for there to be as little bloodshed as possible.
Yes.
And I
True.
will play my part to ensure that is how it goes. What about you?
Well,
How did you feel for the speech?
and see the frustration is like just that behavior, that action, even though that they said Ayun would be allowed, doesn't make what happens correct. And it's funny that you would say something has to give, given what we did on the borders. What we did was take and give in the end. But our work trying to get resources across. I don't know who would give. Both seem very set in their ways. This isn't a real compromise.
Well, if the Empire it truly intends to reach this compromise, perhaps the Baron can be convinced. Perhaps that is a thread we can tug on.
As you turn around and you say the Baron, and you both like turn around and look at the Baron. The Baron is right now in a screaming match with Naz. Naz is just shouting that you obstinate fool, you're only thinking about yourself. Just because your deity has not been approved by the Empire, you want all of us to suffer with you. Ishkar?
Yeah, he definitely looks
Friends?
like someone with. If you can convince him, that would be. I don't think either of us may have the best chance with him, but he looks at the two paladins right there. One for Serena, and one he literally traveled in the carriage with him as well. Trusted, like they might have better luck in trying to come to a solution here that's not hurting my eardrums.
Okay. Can I get a passive
Is that what
perception
you
from all
want
of you?
then?
passive perception.
Sure.
I also
It's 11 for me.
my passive perception is 15.
Okay. I was just about to say Leo and this thing, but Gir and Valara, you notice as the Baron is having this like shouting match with Trent, and Trent is also like echoing what Naz was saying. You know, Trent is like, there's such a small population that follows Therin Ray. The vast majority of Zadash follow these 6 gods that have been approved. I mean, it only makes sense that we surrender to the Empire and live peacefully. And as he says that, Valara and Gir, you notice Nars pull out this very small kind of like dagger and is lunging at the Baron.
Holy shit.
I will move to stop that dagger and intercept it.
Okay.
I will also jump into action, and with my dope monk shit, I'll be able to cover the distance pretty quickly, I would say.
Yeah,
in fact,
it's a small zone.
I mean, yeah. Tell us, is it initiative, or can I just say what I?
No, this is just what you want to do. There's no initiative yet. So
as I am running, I will cast command.
on Nars.
Are you casting
Nars?
command on Nars?
Yeah, the person. Yeah, of course, the person holding the dagger. Sorry, I thought you were talking to Valara for a second. Yes, but I would cast it on. Is that okay?
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yeah, of course
And
you can.
I will use
Valara, what are
Step
you
of the Wind. Do I need to use Step of the Wind to get there fast?
You're
enough?
about 30 feet away, so you can just run there. You don't need to
Yeah,
use
I'll
your
just
bonus action
yeah,
yet.
I'll just run, and
Mhm.
I will try to intercept the dagger and just like catch it before it gets to him and like hold it in place.
Okay. So give me a dex saving throw, Valara. Give me a dex saving throw or an acrobatics check. I'll leave it up to you.
Dex save or an acrobatics check. I'll do a dex save.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's 24.
Ooh. Okay. And you were casting command at Nars?
Yeah, so wisdom saving throw, which is a DC of 13.
Okay.
And then I'll give the command if I succeed.
Ooh, that's a fail. That's an 8.
All right. You just hear deep roar echo across the whole all the chambers as Gear goes, halt! And I just tell him, basically commanding him to halt exactly where he is, not make any.
Okay.
And if he follows through, he doesn't move and takes no actions.
Yep. Okay. So as Valara like sees this like small, very small handheld knife in the palm of Naz as Naz lunges towards the Baron, Gir from top of the altar like shouts with a booming voice to halt, and at the same time Valara goes parkouring up the staircase, like through the staircase, like from one side rail to the other, and then like does like a somersault, lands just in front of Naz, and pulls the knife away from her hands, and at the same time Naz feels like this compulsion to just stop and freeze mid assault. And as soon as she realizes this, Baron looks at Naz and like looks back at all of you, looks at you, Gir, says, traitors to the Dominion, all of you, not you guys as a party, but like at Naz and Trents, and looks to you, Valara and Gir, and I think it's time to make an exit.
You're quite right, Your Lordship. I believe your guard has caught you.
I look back at Naz and I look back at the Baron, and I say, remember that you're all on the same side, whether you may disagree in this moment or not. Harming your potential allies might not be in your best interest. I understand what has happened here, but perhaps avoid making hasty decisions.
You hear a loud crash as a rock flies in from outside and hits the stained glass window, and it just shatters on impact. This is from outside. A large mob is already gathering outside. Like the word of the Empire's speech has already spread throughout town. Um, um, Ishkar,
Yeah.
Trent's, Trent, yeah, go ahead.
No, say what
What
you were
about
going to say. Like he sees it happening. He's a beat slow, so he's like heading towards where the action's happening. But say what you gotta say.
Yeah. As you head towards where the action's happening, and just gives you like a nod.
Yeah. I look at that and like don't respond to that and just like don't respond to that inside. And I go up like to the I say like this is not looking good. We should make headway. We should try to escape. Is there a back entrance out of here? Because it sounds like there's a lot of people out front. We should have take the Baron out of here.
So technically, we're not in initiative unless you all start fighting.
Yeah.
But it is a very tense situation, and there is a mob inside and outside. So I will be using the mob combat rules. If we get into it, I don't know yet. So it's still like it's not initiative. So you can all like do whatever you want to do. But as you say that, Ishkar, the Baron looks around and says, "Yeah, things might be getting a little too heated here. Follow me." And like he heads up back towards the altar where there is a side room. And as he heads up, Trents and Thurwin, the head priest of Temple of Ravens and the Temple of Pelor, respectively, they kind of like start trying to block his path. And they're like, "Coward, where are you running off? Stand here and answer your people. Why should we not just fold in with the Empire for the sake of our citizens?" Yeah, go ahead. Go once again.
As they said, I was like, what kind of peace would you have if you had no freedom in it? To choose your own fate, to choose your own path. You dare call us cowards when you are the one willing to sacrifice your own freedom so easily?
I'll also just yell out to everyone there since I've now started picking up on what is happening. Everyone remain calm. Acolytes, make sure that nobody inside is hurt. And I'm going to get towards where the main action is.
Okay, the main action is happening right under the altar. Everyone's just like accosting the Baron. It seems like the mood here is that give up, surrender, go with the Empire. They've approved 6 gods. We can work with that. That's there.
I'll superimpose myself between the Baron and anyone else if that is required.
Yeah. I also stand up next to next to Leo. I got my rapier and I said like no one is getting past us to the Baron. You will remember who your loyalty is to.
I need a group intimidation check, like
Okay.
from all of you.
Oh, group intimidation. That should.
Yeah. If you have something
Yeah.
that like that instead of intimidation, you can do something else. That's fine. Like if you have some.
Holy shit. +7. Amazing.
Wait, +7, why?
No, you have a +7.
Oh,
no.
Leo has a
plus.
God damn it. Alaka. What have you done?
This is all intentional.
What are you talking about?
So
Listen,
I got a 4 total, so I'm not that intimidating.
Yeah, not intimidating. But the thing is, like, you don't need to be
Teamwork.
intimidating.
I rolled a 15 total.
Okay, that's 2 successes.
am not going to join in because while this is happening, based on my conversation earlier, I'm trying to look for something else.
Okay, what you looking
In this
for?
moment, I'm looking for what Sai told me about. The thing we don't have enough information about. Here,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's
sure.
giving
Make an insight check. Just give me an insight check.
all right. Do I have advantage on this?
Yeah.
Alright.
Because of your
Yes.
item, right?
So that's a 17. And that's much better. That's a 24.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna roll for somebody. Oh yeah, I'm rolling like shit today. I shouldn't be rolling today.
Roll.
No. Okay. You as you notice, this crowd has been extremely hostile towards the Baron. but suddenly, as the three of them are like protecting the Baron and kind of like rapier out, pushing back the crowd and like leading the Baron up the stairs towards the altar, you see from the crowd itself, and also by now the door has been barged in, and like a large group of like mob has come from outside and they're like joining in. And you see in this crowd, you see Trents, the head priest of the Matron of Ravens. He kind of, Velara, you see, he kind of like suddenly backs out a little bit, like he backs down, and he starts like shushing the other people, like he's pretending like as if the rapier is and like he's being intimidated, but actually he feels it's more like he seems to be letting you all go, if that makes sense.
He's the same person who nodded earlier, right? Arishkar?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the priest of the Mother of Ravens, that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I blink once and take a memory of this man's face. And I step back, allowing us to be ushered in.
Okay. As you all, like the Baron kind of like leads you, the acolytes also lead you towards the back room, and then it exits towards the back, and there are all these like cherry blossom trees lined up on the outside on the back entrance. You cross the same moat, and then you enter into this field of cherry trees, and there is like a safe-ish path from there out of this area of Zadash. But as you like go, as you like walk through the jungle, the Baron will look at all of you. Well, thank you, my friends. I need to go check in on the Baroness. I feared this day would come, and I feel like we need to regroup and regather our resources. I think it is high time we bring in the High Cleric. We must make an informed decision on how to deal with the Empire.
Very
I
well.
can tell you all that. Yes. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I'll
Of action now. We
Yeah,
should
Alika,
find the High
Leo, go ahead.
Cleric, despite the fact that we have no idea where they are.
Well, I mean, he was
I rest one hand
extremely
on
interested.
the Baron's shoulder and I say, you must be careful now of who you let close to you. As you can see, what happened outside is just an indicator of how much hostility there is. Do you understand? Good.
As you say that, and the Baron kind of like nods. And you're walking, like you're not in the cherry blossom area anymore. You're still like walking through the areas of the dash. You're like keeping to the back alleys. And as you get closer and closer to the Baron's home, you see running from the home and running into the arms of the Baron is the Baroness. And in the background, the Baron's home is torched, destroyed, and the Baroness is wrought with tears. As a large, angry mob is just out cutting for blood. And the Baron looks at all of you and says, perhaps it is time to retreat to Allfield.
We must go quickly. This mob is not to be reasoned with. Emotions are high at the moment. We need to make a decisive action first.
Do we have enough steeds for our journey? Or should I go get...
Well, the Baron can arrange. I mean, like they still have access to like some resources and allies. They can arrange. As you wait for the steeds and the carriages to arrive, the Baron would like, while consoling the Baroness, would also turn back and look at you. Allfield will still be the best place to start looking for the High Cleric. They're very attached to the Temple of Ray in Allfield. As good a starting point as any.
Very well. I look to Leo, Velara, and Ishkar. I assume by your presence here that you wish to aid us in this process.
Yes.
My duty
I
demands
will.
it.
We need information and answers. We can't let things go as this way.
Well, I wish to understand more about what drives you all, but perhaps now is not the time. For now, I will trust. And I look to Velara, who probably still holding the knife that she grabbed from Naz. Like
Yeah.
that your heart is in the right place. What do you do, sir?
I flip the knife with like a very sort of like click move in my fingers and hilt out. I hold it towards you. Whatever makes you comfortable.
I will place my trust in you for now. And I look at Ishkar and Leo, and let's hope that perhaps justice is what prevails, not whatever this is.
This?
As you
This is
leave this, as you leave this mob behind, and you like coast out of the city of Zadash, which is now engulfed in flames. You spend the next 2 days on the road and enter the city of Allfield. You would hear news that Zadash, as the Baron has fled, and Zadash has a new ruler, Naz Odakar, who's already entered into compromise talks with the Emperor. A large part of the territory of the Julous Dominion has already been ceded. And we will pick up our session from Allfield in the next episode.
Oh, that flew by. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just gave up the Dominion in like episode 1. Amazing.
Some of the territory.
Yeah. Portion of
territory.
We fucked up, but we haven't fucked up that bad. We still have more to fuck up, is essentially what we are saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Cool.
This has been an interesting start, and I'm curious because I didn't hear Ishkar and Velara's introduction or Leo's introduction for that matter. Well,
I didn't have an introduction. I just did the.
That is your introduction.
The cool puja, that was totally your introduction. What are you on about?
That's what you get for being pious.
Thank you. Lesson learned.
Do we have any goodbye messages, Indrani?
Yes, thank you so much, everybody, for watching episode 1 of Wildemount, Faith and Fury. We will see you next week at 7:30 p.m. IST on Wednesday at twitch.tv/Desis&Dragons. Next week, we will have another Journey Through the Radiant Citadel giveaway. There is still time to join the giveaway. We will post the link for the giveaway form in the chat right now. So if you haven't already signed up, please do. Note that this giveaway is only for people living in South Asia. And other than that, come join our Discord server. Please go follow Siva, who, by the way, an incredible GM. Can we also
I need to defect to the Dwendalian Empire just because I want to hear King Dwendal speak all the time, because that speech with the accent was like
I know.
So good.
So yes.
Siva came through with the accents. It was amazing.
I'm here for
and before we wrap,
who's Shiva? I'm Chirag.
Shout out to
oh my god.
Who am I?
God damn it, is this gag gonna be?
Well, we have 5 episodes, and I have 4 of you. So
hey, the final episode will just be a picture of himself.
Oh my god! That
What
poor
is master
printer
plan
of yours is going through it, huh? I see.
This is a master plan. He's going to kill off one of us each episode and then just take our place.
Yeah. We would also really like to quickly thank Ari, because I know that they collaborated with Siva on creating this.
This entire story has been
Ari and Siva for this.
Thank you, Ari.
A brainchild of Ari. So thank you so much, Ari.
I'm so excited to go on this.
Also known as Solari writing, because Solari, get it? Solar
Ari. We will post a link.
We'll have the links on
description.
Definitely.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.